Yeah, we get the vibing, don't we? We got some topics to discuss. We get it poppin', homie. Just elected like the new mayor, putting on the classic like he Ric Flair. This is Josh Martinez and Z100, home of your favorite music where the beats are bumping. Pick your favorite company, the wait is over. It's a superstar crossover.
Hey, yo, what up? My name is Josh Martinez of iHeartRadio's newest wrestling podcast, The Superstar Crossover, with my guest, WWE superstar KARRION Kross. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. How are you?
Chilling, man. Listen, luckily it's a sunny day today. You take them any chance you get in the winter. Where are you right now?
I'm in Orlando. It's very sunny here right now.
So it's sunny 290 days?
Pretty much.
Well, there's a big show, the Road to WrestleMania, coming through to Pittsburgh. Friday night, March 10th, Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman, Charlotte Flair, yourself with Scarlett, and more. How excited are you to be working with Rey Mysterio right now?
I'm very excited. He's one of the greatest of all time. I've been watching him since I was a little kid. And man, I was in Mexico for a very long time, many, many years, worked with the best luchadors in the world, at the top of the food chain in Lucha Libre. And I waited a long time to get my hands on Rey, and it never came around. And it's just funny how the universe, it puts you back on track to the things that you wanted. Maybe back then it wasn't the right time, and here we are.
So when putting together a match against Rey Mysterio, do you find yourself looking at what you did in Mexico with the luchadors, or do you study what Rey did with the big man?
I would say both. I'm going to feel out where the audience is that day. I'm going to see where the story develops on our way there. And then I'll make decisions based on that.
Born and raised in New York City, true or false?
True.
Are you part Puerto Rican?
Yes.
All right, we got to talk about this, dog, because I'm 100% Puerto Rican. And I'm sure you know this, growing up as a fan, there wasn't many of us, at least in WWF at the time, while you're growing up watching superstars on Fox 5 and Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC4. Do you feel some sort of responsibility, like throwing on the Puerto Rican flag on your shoulders and being like, yo, I'm doing this for my people? Or are you just like, yo, I'm doing this for me, dog?
I always felt like if I were to do something like that, I was almost undermining their intelligence. Like I was begging for that. You know what I mean? I've never felt inclined to play a Puerto Rican character. Like, you'll understand this because you're Puerto Rican. I can't say this to other people who are not Puerto Rican. I feel like it might go over their heads, but like, we just are the way we are. Like, I have a couple t-shirts that have the flag on them. I have boxing trunks I train in that have the flag on them. But like, for me personally, like, I'm not trying to play the role. That's just who I am. You know what I mean? And I don't know. Does that make any sense? You know, does that connect?
We're the most prideful people on the planet.
Yes.
I always tell people within 2 minutes of meeting me, you're going to find out that I'm from Brooklyn and I'm from Puerto Rican. That I am Puerto Rican, I should say. Do you know Spanish very well?
My Spanish is very broken, but if I'm in Puerto Rico for a week or I'm in Mexico for a week, I pick it up right back immediately. I just don't have a lot of people to practice with. I'll talk to Raquel. I'll talk to Mendoza. And I honestly think that's it. Like, I'll practice my Spanish with them, but I only see them for a few hours a week. That's about it.
I once heard that being a New Yorican is all fun and games till you got to speak Spanish. And that hit me right here.
Yep, exactly.
So you mentioned working in Mexico, working around the world as well. Who comes to your mind when I say, who's the most underrated superstar on the planet right now?
And I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but Ricochet. I think Ricochet is the most underrated. And the reason being is because that is a guy you can put in the ring completely like on a cold match with no story. And he will be able to get reactions out of any audience that he is working in front of. Like, there are certain people that lean more towards storytelling, and there are certain people that lean more towards high spots. And it just depends on what audience you're working in front of. Some audiences prefer more storytelling, and then other audiences are showing up for the high spots. They want to see hybrid lucha libre, which is wonderful. We have like a very diverse audience and stuff like that. And each city is different. But I'm telling you, man, if you put Ricochet in the ring with anybody, I mean, they're going to get their money's worth. And with all due respect to everybody in the roster, everyone gets 110%. I just think that he hits different.
Now, you were away from WWE for a little bit. What was that "we want you back" convo like? Did Triple H just call you playing In Sync, "I want you back" for all 3 minutes, and that was it? Or
it was a Motorhead cover of NSYNC, "I Want You Back." Well, like, I don't know, man. Like, I've always look, I play a despicable, evil human being on TV, and it's easy for me to do these interviews with you. I don't feel like I'm killing kayfabe or anything like that. It's 2023. I'm pretty sure people understand what it is that we're doing. The guy that you're talking to right now is not on TV. I go through a complete transformation of everything that you're hearing right now. This is not there. I go deep into this. That's my process of this. So, like, with that being said, when I was talking to people about coming back, and Hunter talked about it and everything, he basically just said, "You want to come home?" We were on a conference call with my wife, and we're like, "Yeah, we would like to go home." And the conversation was as easy as that. And it's because, like, outside of what people see on TV, I have good relations with everybody. I tend to get along with everyone. I stayed in touch with everybody even after I was gone. And so it wasn't like a conversation that we had to have where there was like a lot of ground to cover. Like, we've all kind of stayed in touch, or I should say we did at that time. All of us did to some degree. You know what I mean? It's difficult when you're on the road and you have a family and stuff like that, but it wasn't like a strange call, I should say.
now, you mentioned kind of going into this metamorphosis of your character. What does it take for you to get into that mode?
I just need to be left alone for about 5 minutes. If I can get some peace and quiet and no one's talking to me or asking me to do anything for about 5 minutes, I know how to get into that place. And if I told you, they'd probably arrest me. Like, how I actually do that, there's just a few things that I begin to think about. And I think about the context of what's about to happen and who Cross is and what he is.
So no music is involved in this evolution.
No, just thoughts, just ideas.
What music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of heavy metal, and then I listen to a lot of jazz. And then occasionally when I'm driving with my wife, we'll listen to house, like progressive house.
So how often do you argue with your wife about New York City pizza being superior to Chicago's?
Never. She doesn't. She's gluten-free and doesn't eat pizza. So this has been a non-issue, thank God. I think that's why we were able to get married. We didn't have to fight about this.
That's a great point. What can we expect from you in 2023 and beyond? Because to a lot of WWE viewers, Karrion Kross is still new to them.
I think you're going to be able to expect compelling storytelling. If I am granted in a lot of the time to romance the audience and Shakespeare them into what it is that I am very good at doing, which is laying down the foundations of eliciting that emotional response to get people interested in what we're doing, you're going to see some great storytelling. And one of my jobs that I kind of have given to myself is to help fans see different layers of people that maybe perhaps they haven't seen before that I'm going to be working with. I like to put people in different situations and circumstances that perhaps they haven't been in prior to working with me. So that's what they're going to get. And you're going to see a lot of people get suplexed on their heads. That's for sure.
What now we mentioned music before, but what did you listen growing up?
I listened to a lot of Public Enemy because at the time they took over the world. Chuck D and Flav, Welcome to the Terrordome, Don't Believe the Hype. When Mike Tyson was taking over the world, it was inescapable in New York, man. But aside from that, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, a lot of Metallica. I was like obsessed with Metallica as a kid.
So you mentioned Mike Tyson. He had one of the most infamous entrances of all time with nothing more than a towel that was cut, right? You have a pretty popular entrance. You had it in NXT. You have it now on the main roster. With WrestleMania around the corner, do you think of all the possibilities of that entrance on a WrestleMania stage?
All the time, for years now. all the time.
Is it a goosebump moment for you when you just sit there driving and you're thinking of all these things?
Every time, man.
How often do you catch yourself getting emotional thinking of where you are right now in your career compared to where you were 15 years ago?
I don't get emotional. This is probably unhealthy, and I shouldn't say it, but I'm just going to kind of wing it. I actually get really pissed because it's not enough. It's not enough. I haven't reached my full potential yet, and people haven't seen my best work yet. And I know what I can do. And at this level, you need to be afforded certain types of opportunities, which is difficult with a big roster and only 2 hours in the program. And I know that once I am afforded that particular shot, because I've been afforded a lot, let's not get it twisted. Once I am afforded that particular shot to demonstrate what I can really do, what I've done where people on a major scale haven't seen it, people are going to be blown away. And I'm in a fight for that every single week to get closer and closer to that shot. I'm being straight with you. I'm being very real.
No. What do you do on your personal time to get yourself to that level of being ready for when you're given that chance to just kind of run with the ball?
Study tape, stay healthy, eat well. And this may sound counterintuitive, but preserving my personal life to keep me grounded, like the guy who plays Cross, he's got to be healthy for Cross to exist. And that's something different I wasn't doing before. A lot of self-care, and I spend a lot of time with family. And that way I'm completely recharged the next week when I got to go back.
So would you say that your family and friends are kind of what bring you back to an even keel if you're feeling low or too high? Because we all got to balance out.
Paramount. Yeah, absolutely.
That's dope. I know we got to wrap up, but one more time, KARRION Kross, you're going to be part of the Road to WrestleMania Friday night, March 10th, SmackDown at PPG Paints Arena, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then you will also be part of the Royal Rumble in some aspect, in some form, Saturday night, January 28th on the Peacock Network. If you had it your way, before you let you go, I have two final questions. Number one, if you had it your way, what would you be doing at WrestleMania?
Caving Roman Reigns' head.
We said shaving or maybe?
Caving, brother, caving. Come on now, Papo.
Hey, listen, you shave his head. That might be the headline. I'm just saying, that's a great idea.
I think he would hate that worse than getting pinned, actually, now that we're talking.
He put a lot of time in. My final question, this is the Superstar Crossover. So what I do is set it up where you ask a question for our next guest, and the next guest could very well be someone from New Japan, AEW, or even someone in your own locker room. What question would you have for our next guest?
Who is your dream opponent to compete with at WrestleMania if you had the opportunity?
Boom. Who's your dream opponent? Go.
Roman Reigns.
There we go. Love to see it. KARRION Kross one more time. We appreciate you coming through, bro.
Thank you, bro.